Spiderhead, the newest Netflix original film. So in the near future, convicts are offered a chance to volunteer as medical subjects to shorten their sentence. One such subject for a new drug capable of generating feelings of love begins questioning the reality of his emotions. So this film has a fantastic opening. Like, I was hooked right at the start in terms of how engaging the opening was. Like, I really like the dad jokes that are thrown in at the start, so you can see them doing like their clinical trials for their drugs. Like, Hemsworth is obviously the main guy in the actual Spider's head, so he's operational as the guy that's administrating all the tests. Like, I really liked his portrayal of it. Like, he sort of, as he goes through, is testing all these drugs to see if they can come up with this manufacturer of, I don't want to give anything away, but this drug that will allow them to obviously make a lot of money. So as it comes in, the contrast between the background and the subject, like, it's really stylish. So we have the same director that directed Tron Legacy and Top Gun Maverick, so everything is really stylish, and that's why the cinematography and the opening scenes are awesome. Every time they're showing a drug trial and every time that they're testing it, I really like those scenes. Like, that was really cool in terms of all the different drugs they were testing. So like, you can see there's a little pack on their backs and you can see the drug administering, and they've got the phone so you can see how much they're doing and what are they switching between. I did like that. It was a cool little indicator, so they're able to, break the standard sort of, you're in a room watching, where each drug had that different impact on the person, so you got to see different things going on each time. And there were some really comical moments in there. So like, each of the drug contestants, well, not contestants, but the volunteers, they were really all different and well casted, and I like their interaction between each other as well. Chris Hemsworth, he does an awesome performance. Like, I liked how he started off as he's like cool, calm, collected, like really to the letter. But as he gets on there, like, you get a little bit more of his sort of, you don't really get the backstory, but you do get to see his desperation throughout, where he's starting to become slightly unhinged, where he's trying to really push our main character in terms of making the choice about what he wants him to do. So probably the first half an hour in the opening scene, like, everything is shot really well. Of the actual film feels forced, where when we finally do get to the climax of the film, it did have a bit of a payoff, but it did fall into a number of flaws here and there, where you're given the backstory of our main drug contestant, where it felt forced and didn't really fit into where the rest of the story wanted to go. I did like the premise of the actual facility, where they sort of had free roam and he was trying to build that respect, and I know they were volunteering for the drugs, but you were sort of focusing on two main drug contestants, which was the main guy and Lizzie, where Lizzie's backstory does come into it later, where it makes a little bit of a nice conflicting choice for our main contestant to sort of have to not do what Steve wants him to do. So there is a little bit of payoff, and I know why they sort of brought it in, but like, they were just sort of forced it down you with flashbacks, where one flashback probably would have been enough, where the flashbacks went on for a little bit. The special effects in those flashbacks was a little bit janky, where I would have liked you could have just like faded to black instead of showing the visual effects. Like, the ragdolling effect wasn't really where it needed to be, but I guess they didn't have the budget, where if they just flashed it black, we'd have got the picture of it. Become a little bit predictable, the ending, where as it becomes more and more unhinged, the direction that the film is going to go becomes quite predictable, and it was just over dramatic, and like, it felt cheesy, felt a little bit forced. There were some ongoing storylines, like there's a janitor who's accusing our main dude about wiping poo on the walls. Like, he's quite aggressive about it, and we do get to find out who that was, which was a weird time to put it, like right at the end, where everything's going on at the same time. But yeah, like, I would have liked a little bit more motive as well for Steve about why he needed those. Then there's also the final moments that kind of felt like the superhero films, where the villain's like, oh, this is why I did it. And then it just sort of felt like he was giving him all the information where, you know, how they sort of stand there and listen to it. But it just felt cheesy towards right at the end for that final climax of the actual film. Overall, after the intro, and there were some moments that were really comical, I did sort of struggle to stay engaged for the whole time, where Netflix are really struggling with their original films, where great actor, where I'm not sure if it was a script or where the film could actually go, but overall, like, there wasn't much to really work with besides that opening scene where you're presenting the world, presenting the facility, but you sort of get stuck in there and there's only so much you can sort of do with it. I can't recommend this film. It is stylish, the cinematography is great, but the overall story just doesn't get you there. So if you're going to see it, probably check out Hustle. Hustle's a much better Netflix original, and I really need Netflix to start picking up their sort of quality in terms of their films. Their TV shows are great, they just need to make sure that they're translating across into the films as well to justify that price hike that keeps always coming. So yeah, you know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.